Should I read you the inside of the flap? Oh my god. This is okay. My Personal Stalker Melanie, a personal stalker novel. In the town of Astoria, Oregon, Charlie Hall isn't used to much attention, at least not the good kind. All he needs all he needs is his sister Allie and his best friend Lori. No one else, not his mother, not his father, and especially not the freak of a girl, Melanie Green, who can't seem to lose his trail. But when a nearly fatal car accident catapults him into a world of into a world of secrets and tangled romance, lives begin to change forever. He begins to lose people he held close to him, and even those he never expected. Oh, applause. Let's give applause to my younger self for murdering that synopsis. I mean, like, to the average teenage reader, I feel like somebody would read that. I would have read it. Hello, YouTube. My name is Prince, and I'm here to share with you some fiction that I wrote when I was 15. This is the book that I wrote when I was 15. This is my birth name on it. But now my name is Prince. But I wrote this when I was 15 years old, when I was really obsessed with the Twilight series, when I really loved YA literature. And I was obsessed with writing when I was younger. I mean, from age 14 to 20 or 21, I wrote 6 novels. And this was the second novel that I ever wrote. And it's called My Personal Stalker, a breakout novel by me. This was during an era of the internet where you could read a lot of fiction online. I mean, you still can now, but to me it was newer. I was reading a lot of fan fiction. There were a lot of websites for teenagers to publish their writing, to be self-published online. So I was really big on Amoeba, on Wattpad, on Tumblr, on fanfiction.com. I mean, everyone wants to date and then gets into weird romance because you want to date when you're a teenager. I wanted to be a human boy that has a vampire girl fall in love with him. And so that's basically how this started. I've never read any of this online. Idea of how serious I was. I finished this book when I was 15 and I wrote the sequel when I was 16 or 17. And the sequel was like 130,000 words. Oh my God. Mind you, all of these characters, other than like one, are white. Is it the inscription at the beginning? Love is said to be what everyone needs, the force that feeds our energy fields. Very few speak of love being a crime. Was I channeling my queerness into this? Because even though this book is a straight relationship, in the second book, Charlie Hall discovers that he's bi. Oh my God, this is... I never expected to do this on the internet, but here we are. Chapter 1. It never occurred to me that you could actually never leave me alone. This girl was seriously beginning to weird me out. First off, her skin was this sickly pale white. Her eyes were a paranoid and darkened yellow, and she held this strange beauty about her that was almost unbelievable. A weird unbelievable. Charlie, I just want to talk to you, her voice urged. I slammed my locker shut. Did you want to talk to me when I woke up and you were in my room? Or did you just want to feel me up? My window was locked. Her eyes trailed as her lips pursed. I'm sorry about that. Or the time you followed my car for an hour thinking I didn't notice? Or when I broke my ankle and you were the first one when I never told you I was at the hospital? Ooh, I like to start in the middle of the drama, even though we don't know where they are. Her head lowered, and suddenly a nauseating emotion rushed through me. She began to back away, saving herself any more embarrassment. I tugged on a small lock of my ash blonde hair. Wait, I didn't mean to be rude. You're just weird, that's all. A smile crept onto her face, and she laughed. So did I. The hallways were cleared. Yeah, I get that a lot, she departed. I'll see you tomorrow. Wait, I jerked. She stopped and stared at me with wide eyes. There was something about those eyes. Do you need a ride home? You wouldn't have to walk. I wasn't sure why I'd made the invitation. Actually, I was kicking myself. Now she would think I liked her and would try to put her hand on my thigh again. She was a freak. Sure, not a single trace of a smile crossed her face. I was surprised. She followed me to the parking lot and hopped into the passenger seat. I started the rusted engine of the pickup truck and pulled out. So, how long have you lived here? I haven't seen you in school before this year, I asked. I was getting homeschooled. Her dark locks ran down the side of her face. Her hair was nice and a shiny. Her hair was nice, ... Her hair was ... nice in a shiny way. Suddenly, her entire body went rigid and her free hand flew out to the steering wheel. What the hell are you doing? This is, oh my God. What the hell are you doing? I shouted. The car swerved and buckled near the road's edge. I tried pushing her hands away and felt my palms bruised. I mean, actually, I spell checked this stuff pretty well. I tried pushing her hands away and felt my palms bruised. I wasn't strong enough. I was a wimp. Yup, she was crazy ever since I had tried talking to Sasha. It's a typical, if I can't have you, no one can attitude. Time to kill us both, I guess. The car stopped as I slammed my foot into the brakes, tires squealing. Her murderous eyes turned to me. Why did you stop the car? Me? It's my car, not yours. You can get out, freak. You don't know what's happening. Fear shook her voice. I tried to shove her to the door. I don't care, get out. The back windshield exploded, sending shards of glass tumbling forward. The car's back lifted and I flew into the front windshield. Blood trickled down my temple. Her hand flew out and pinned me back to my seat. The door flew off its hinges. Hand slammed into my neck. I felt bone crack. The last thing I heard were Melanie's sobbing screams. Don't hurt him. I mean, that's the end of chapter 1. And I mean, it is a roller coaster. That was the end of chapter 1. I definitely wanted to come hard with Charlie's sarcasm. A lot of my characters were very sarcastic at this age. Very headstrong, very crude. I don't know why he suddenly just asks her to drive home with him. I'm like, if you don't like her, why would you invite her? And I'm like, why is she... Oh my God. I'm already like dizzy from this whole process. It's like 20... Oh my God. It's just wild that I'm flipping through something that I wrote when I was 15. This was 11 years ago. So basically, the book continues. Charlie and Melanie kind of have this thing for each other. Charlie starts to like her. They sort of start to date. And then I don't really remember what exactly happens. I think... Okay, this is on page 237. This is chapter... I mean, by the way, anyone out there, let me know if you want to publish this. This is chapter 23. Oh my God. I munched on my chocolate chip marshmallow goddess of a cookie. I had to say Melanie had some serious skills when it came to a conventional oven, despite Rhea jumping around and calling herself a bakist. I laid against the roof's surface, feeling the grainy texture against the hair of my scalp. The hair of my scalp. Do you do this a lot? She breathed in and we looked up at the sky. It was like a maze of stars, all shining like bulbs of light. I love it up here. This is one of the reasons I came here. I just wanted to break from all the smoke and litter of everywhere else. When you come here, it's like an oasis. You actually see the stars. It's not like that everywhere. We were lying close. The section of the roof we were on faced the backyard. She practically had to get a ladder to get me up here. That's really why you left New Jersey? She frowned, her eyes looking up to me as she cuddled closer and laid on her side now. The night surrounded us and pine crossed the air. I inhaled. People there were okay. There just seemed to be too many problems. Kids at my school didn't get me. I was pretty much alone. This has been the only real time I feel good in. I smiled, reaching my palm softly behind her head and hair. What did you think of me when you first saw me? She closed her eyes and spoke. I thought you were an angel with your hair and your eyes. I've never seen eyes like yours in my entire life, and I thought you were perfect. Really? She nodded, her eyes opening to me, taking my features. But you have the vocabulary of a bitter old man with no family. She stared on at me further, biting down on her lower lip. Then I realized no one was perfect. Dread hit my system. What do you mean? You hurt me a lot, more than you can imagine, Charlie. I wish I could take it back. Everything that happened before the accident. I just wish I'd gotten to know you sooner. Me too. I just hope you know I did that. I only did that because I was scared. I had too many times where I held out for people and nothing happened. Silence came next. I love you, Charlie, she murmured just as the tendrils of sleep came closer. I love you too, Melanie. That's how we stayed until it was time for me to go. That was one of the best nights of my life. Talk about dry. Ugh. I mean, I'm trying to remember what I even... Like Charlie was a very distinctive character, like rude, crass, has a lot of emotional walls up, uses sarcasm as a coping mechanism. But Melanie, I'm like, I can't really remember what she was like for real, which is kind of like, you just heard me read some shit I haven't read in years. But comment below if you were a teenage writer, if you wrote a lot when you were a teenager. What were your genres? Were you into fan fiction? What websites were you on? I was on Meba, Wattpad, Tumblr, fan fiction. There's probably a few others. Teen Ink. I was definitely on Teen Ink. I definitely shared some of my writing as a middle schooler on like the PBS Kids website. But yeah, thank you for letting me embarrass myself. And this is just to show that writing as much as you can will always repay you in the future, because I view this book as me like training and loving the craft and not really doing it for anyone else. So I am glad I can revisit it, especially while I'm here at a new residency, Atlantic Center for the Arts. I'm finishing a novel, the last novel that I wrote when I was 20. But yeah, thank you for checking this out. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know in the comments if you want me to read some more of my embarrassing fiction from when I was a teenager, because I will.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Maybe I need to go back and rewrite this one. Oh my god, this is so... This is so embarrassing. And it's like, what is this cover? I found this cover, I don't even know, I think I looked up pale white women.